He's old enough to drink now.
Yeah.
Mm.
Man, that guy.
There we go.
And that Megavision's Kickstarter is totally gonna make it, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Does look like it.
If it hasn't already.
Sega doesn't shut it down right at the last minute.
Well, it's
Sega
unofficial,
doesn't tend
right?
to do that.
Hmm?
Yeah, but it's called Megavisions, not called Sega Visions.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Are they going to run screenshots of Sega games?
That's not illegal, Phil.
That's
No.
tell that to
And-
Nintendo.
But that's the thing. Sega is very fan-friendly, actually.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not so nice to Mighty Number 9, maybe, but, they're fan-friendly.
Well, again, if anyone has any room to get pissy about game quality, it's Sonic the Hedgehog.
Alrighty.
Sonic the
Are we ready to do a clap?
Chronic the Hemp Hog.
You'd like
Ever-
that, wouldn't you?
Did you ever play that game?
That's a great T-shirt.
I've
Great
seen that
bootleg
t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw someone, and I am not making this up, yesterday, in the year 2016, I saw someone wearing a bootleg Bart Simpson T-shirt.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah.
How old were they?
Yeah. 20s?
What did it
Huh.
say? Though?
It was some reference I didn't get. It was probably to something the kids are into today. I don't know. The Kanyes. Do the kids like the Kanyes?
Yeah, I've heard that they do.
Yeah, maybe it said I Kanye Ramba. It didn't actually say that, but it was some sort of reference I did not get. But it was a bootleg Bart Simpson T-shirt.
That's pretty great.
But,
This day and age.
I owned a bootleg Bart Simpson T-shirt back in the
Really?
day because that was all I could get. At some
Really?
point.
Your
And
family was not wealthy enough to afford the
Couldn't
real
afford
ones.
the official merch. No.
By the way, if Icon Yarumba was a movie and it was directed by Sam Raimi, I would see it.
Well, of course you would. He's just setting me up for that sort of nonsense.
No,
Is that what this
Mr.
is?
Raimi. Mr. Raimi, what is Kanye going to do in this scene right here?
Ah, yes, Kanye West. He, of course, plays the Bart's man from Beyond the Stars. Now, of course, in this movie, Bruce Campbell's portraying the dual roles of Kanye West and Commissioner Batman. As they travel together through time and space. It's going to win major awards at the Hollywood Awards. Yeah.
I see.
Count on it. What's exciting about this reboot is it has an all-female cast. Bruce Campbell plays all the roles.
Okay.
It's very exciting.
I see. All right, let's do a clap.
Yeah, sure.
In
Ethan's getting.
Oh, yeah. Hold on one second.
There's an earthquake in Half Moon Bay.
got a little too real there for a second.
Trouble in the bubble.
Sorry about that. I just realized
It happens. Got to plug in your laptop?
my charger was not plugged in, and I don't want to.
Look at that armpit. We can see right up the
Isn't it
sleeve.
nice?
Right up into that.
But if you were
This is a family show. It's a family show.
The armpits
There we
match the drapes, apparently.
charming.
Good to see. Good to see.
Okay.
There you go. Get right up into that mic, though.
Oh yeah.
Right up in there. Although
Give it a
don't
lick.
breathe heavily into it.
No.
Okay.
No breathing.
Lean away from the mic to breathe.
Lean away from the mic to breathe. Lean forward towards the mic to speak.
Chocolate
got it.
rain.
That goes for you too, Phil.
Need to learn a lesson there.
Doing a lot of mic breathing
Have I?
recently too. Yeah, actually. I've had to edit out your mic breathing.
Well, I'll edit out
okay.
your face. Stupid. Well,
That was actually really clever. That was
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
Does that mean you want to edit the show this week? You can if you want.
Thank-
Yeah,
you still got a copy of Kid Pix, right? You can edit in that.
I do have
Yeah.
Kid. I have Art Alive for the Sega Genesis.
Oh.
Yeah, just load it into that through the
We can
expansion
load
port.
this into that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Make my music video.
I've
All
had
right.
ample-
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
I
Here
have
we
ample
go.
make my video experience, so I'm very good with editing.
3, 2, 1. That was really good.
Oh, that was great. Think we're
Kevin,
having a
you're
good
not
time.
lagged. So it's all good. Yeah. What, nobody was going to say anything? Or we're just just going to go right into the show now? Phil? Come on, we usually do a clap and then banter for about 3 more minutes and then we start the show. But okay, if you want it to be all business this week, then fine. Hello and welcome to episode 506
hello there, it's me, Sam Raimi.
of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, July 19th, 2016. I'm your host, Chris Johnston. With me, as always, from California, Mr. Filthy Evolved.
No cute intro.
Nope, that's right. And joining me from
What's
another
this
part of the
record
great
store
state.
clerk look you're rocking there, CJ?
another person in the great state of California, Mr. Ethan Einhorn. Hello.
Hey, good to be back.
Yes,
Good to be
indeed.
black, judging by the shadows that you're hiding in this week. Like Kevin said, you're all witness protection-y on us.
Right. It's from the shadow.
My name is Ethan this week.
Yeah, CJ's gonna have to load in the plugin for the voice modulation.
Yeah.
That's right. And that voice you heard from Back in My Play and the Fitcast, Mr. Kevin Larrabee. Welcome back.
Hello, gentlemen.
What's
Hello.
up, Blair?
Just chilling.
Cool,
So,
man. Cool.
Kevin, let me ask you a question. How much Pokemon Go have you been playing?
I
know it's a lot.
0.
What?
Absolute zero. But I think it is an incredible phenomenon that has just done great things to get people moving, which is fantastic.
An incredible what?
Phenomenon.
Do-do-do-do.
Oh.
I didn't know if this was a hyperbole thing.
So I actually have a quick Pokemon Go story.
Go
I went
for
to go see a movie in Redwood City and walked out, and there were just throngs of people outside, people who clearly didn't know one another, just playing the game. You know, lots of people in their 20s and 30s. And as I was going to the parking garage, a car drove past, actually blasting through its stereo the Pokemon theme song.
Oh my
Um,
God.
Just
That was
surreal.
me. That was me.
That's,
Well-
you know what, though? I give it a week before people lose interest.
Well, what was
Clearly,
crazy then
I'm
is
wrong.
I tweeted about that, and the Redwood City, like the official Twitter feed of Redwood City, actually reposted my tweet. So it was interesting.
I think it's called pre-tweeting.
They
Yeah.
retweeted it.
Yep.
Okay.
CJ wants to be the very worst at predicting gaming trends.
That's right. So yeah, I was wrong, just a
Yeah.
little.
Dead wrong.
Dead wrong. I can't
Dead
believe.
Wrong.
I cannot believe how freaking huge Pokemon Go.
Well, it's like they say on
is.
Pokemon. Believe it. Like Ash Ketchum always says. Believe it.
That's the wrong show.
I'm
You're thinking of
pretty sure
Bleach.
it's not.
All right.
Right.
So yeah, it's huge. Businesses are that are Pokestops are buying lures to get people to come in. There are like what is it? Red Robin locations giving people discounts off of food. If they
Oh, are they
play
really?
Pokemon Go. Yes.
That's
Yes.
awesome. That's nice.
It's crazy. Some
Do you
guy
have to
in
catch
Florida-
a Pidgey at a Red Robin to get a discount?
Yeah. Yes. That's right. Some guys who were playing Pokemon Go because it was 1:30 in the morning and they were out.
Oh,
they were parked in a
yeah.
car outside, and yeah, he decided he wanted to, I don't know, shoot at him. Okay.
Well, he thought they were home
But yeah,
invaders,
Pokemon
maybe.
Go is a phenomenon.
Oh, a what?
A phenomenon.
Do 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 do.
I was waiting. And I heard a story about it. There are us talking about it, and one of the things I find interesting, and I want to get your take on this. There are people talking about how it's like the first big mass consumer integration of AR. And while I think AR is a big part of the app, I don't know if it didn't have it, if it wouldn't be as big as it is, right?
Pikachu's a big part of the app.
Pikachu is, yeah.
That's what it is. It's not about the AR. It's about the Pokemans.
I mean, I have AR off because it's the AR part is busted on the iOS 10 beta.
I
But,
have it on because I want to live the game.
So is this like the first big AR game? Do you think AR is now mainstream, or is it is the game popular for a different reason?
Knock knock. Oh, who's there? It's Invisimals.
Hmm.
So it's been interesting to see, though. I've been in a couple of different meetings now where people are suddenly shifting investment dollars to AR because of the Pokemon phenomenon.
And I think they may be getting the wrong idea.
Agreed.
I
think,
agree. I think
I don't think it's AR that's making this thing popular.
Right, and I think the thing is if you do a Marvel superheroes AR game or a Star Wars AR game, I think the problem is they're second to market in a market that'll only be meaningful on a mass market level for one brand, and Pokemon is the perfect brand for it. It's lots and lots of 30 and 40-year-olds out there playing as well as kids. I went to the park with my son and daughter 2 days ago, and there were 4 or 5 kids just out in the park that were under 10 playing the game with their parents' phone. So it
What the
it
hell
just
are
reaches.
children doing in a park?
Well, it's really pretty amazing that it reaches that broadly, but I think Pokemon is what makes it happen. I think that you will see follow-up games that are the result of companies spending a lot of money trying to recapture this, and I think that Pokemon's going to be the one.
Yeah, I actually, other than the AR thing, I find the whole geocaching nature of the game, that the game is in the real world, to be more interesting than the AR part of it, than the seeing Pokemon in your camera lens.
Mhm.
And I think we've seen games that use maps before. Certainly not a new thing, but Ingress before Pokemon Go and then Pokemon Go have taken it to the next level, and I think I could definitely see games incorporating some kind of real location aspect to them, because that seems to have become quite an interesting aspect of the game, with businesses basically like begging Niantic to make their business a Pokestop, and some places like was it the Holocaust Museum asking them to remove them from the list of Pokestops. I could definitely see more games that use kind of real world locations and bonuses for playing like at certain restaurants or whatever. As lame as that sounds to say out loud, but I don't know. AR, I think, is the wrong focus. The whole geolocation thing, I think, is an interesting wrinkle of this that I could see happening in other games.
Well, but CJ, the other thing again is I think people have room for exactly one of these games, because if you look at Foursquare as an example, you had other companies like Booyah, or even Facebook, trying to emulate that with the check-in reward service, and they didn't take. People still play Foursquare that I know, but don't do the other ones, because you only have really room for one, and you're going to play the one that all your other friends are playing, which is probably going to be the first mass market one, Pokemon.
That's right. Yeah. Although, I could see like Game of Thrones or Clash of Clans or Marvel, definitely, maybe Disney doing something. There will definitely be imitators, and it'll. I think you're right. I don't think they'll do as well.
Well, also think about the groundwork that was done through Ingress, right?
Yeah.
That they built off of, which took years to build, coming from the person who created Google Maps, right? Or Google Earth, and so that type of background is pretty proprietary. I don't think that other companies can just tap into something like that. It's not an open platform.
Yeah, I agree. Man, Pokemon Go. I think it's going to be a little more than 2 weeks till this thing dies.
I was at a fitness summit all weekend with about 1,100 people, and I saw dozens of fitness professionals playing Pokemon Go in the Rhode Island Convention Center. It was amazing.
Yeah. And then there's that little Poke Stop wristband thing that's coming out soon that went out for pre-orders a long time ago and sold out. Is going to be sold out everywhere for months on end, I'm sure.
Yeah, I want one of those. I will not buy virtual currency, but I will buy something like that. It would be fun to have that to carry around.
Yeah.
Phil, you have one coming, right?
Yeah, I do. I have one. I pre-ordered one as soon as they went up from Amazon. So
That's smart.
I'm gonna have mine. But please tell me more about how you won't buy virtual currency.
No, that's all I wanted to say.
I've not heard. I've heard about this.
Yes. All right. Let's move along here and talk about the other huge news. Huge.
You mean
news.
tiny news?
No, I mean huge news.
You mean tiny news?
No, I mean huge.
Oh, this is a plug. Oh, this is a plug.
That's right. It's a plug. Guess what? The game that I've been working on for I haven't been working on it. I've been a producer on it. Double Fine has been working on it for a year and a half or so now.
CJ just admits producers don't actually do anything.
That's not true.
That's what you just said.
That's not true. Is launching on the 26th of July, and it's going to be awesome. We released a new trailer.
I want to hear CJ or Ethan talk about virtual currency now.
There you go.
It's that or an Adult Swim's game plug. I think I know which way I'm leaning.
There you go. So I got to write a piece for the PlayStation blog.
Cool.
Which very exciting. And we posted up a new trailer so people can check that out. It's coming on the 26th of July, which is
I will buy it day one.
Excellent.
I will redeem the code you give me day one.
Thank you. Thank you, Phil.
And look at this. You're actually disclosing that you worked on it.
That's right.
Yeah, not a lot of people on YouTube do that nowadays.
Some people who stream and talk about games don't disclose that kind of thing, and then the FTC gets after them.
So, CJ, what review would you give this game?
I give it an 11 out of 10.
Okay.
Kevin, to be fair, that is totally not a fair question. Actually, I do have a.
It's not?
Really?
Oh wait! I
had to have thought that it was.
Hold on. I know sometimes when you've been an editor, you can feel like you have to answer that. There was I won't say names, but there was an editor that we all used to work with who went on to working in development, and they were starting to do biz dev. They're very
Mark
good at
McDonald, by the way.
But they came to our office and they showed us a game that looked
I'm
very,
kidding.
very pretty.
I'm kidding.
It was not Mark.
No,
They showed us a game that looked very, very pretty, but it also looked very repetitive mechanically. And so the guy that was sitting next to him, who was just pure biz dev, was not somebody who had editorial experience, was like, this game's going to get 9s and 10s, guaranteed. And I knew that obviously wasn't the case looking at the game, and so I turned to our friend who was once an editor at the table and said, okay, come on. You can't bullshit me. We've both been in editorial before. What would you give this if you were still on the magazine that you were on? And he looked at the person who had just raved about the game, then looked to me, and to his enormous credit, he was honest. He goes, I'd give it about a 6. So, right. But yeah, it's tough to be put on the spot when you're asked about your own game, obviously.
It is. I will say, though, this game, I love this game. I've played, you can check my Steam account. I've played like 40 hours on Steam. I've played through it multiple times on the PlayStation, and yeah, it's the real deal. It's great. My unbiased review.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
So
but
just
anyway,
a 10 out of 10, not an 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
that's right.
Is this
no,
the
it's
best
an
game you've ever
11 out of
played?
10.
Is this the
What's
best game
that?
you've ever played?
It's the best, the absolute.
Is
best.
is it the best game you've ever worked on?
I would say yes.
So what was wrong with all the other games?
They were all terrible. In other Adult Swim games news, because why not continue the ad? We also announced Rick and Morty Virtual Reality this
Yay!
week. Yes,
There we go.
which
I
is
brought
our
that up
game.
last week.
You did, and you'll notice I didn't say anything because we hadn't announced it yet.
Well, you said something like "wubba lup dup shubba 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 shubba" or something. Like
That was all I said.
I'm
Yeah.
clearly a fan of the show.
Clearly a comment about it. So we announced the game, and it's going to have a demo playable at the San Diego Comic-Con upcoming this weekend. So if you are there, get in line early and check out that demo. It's awesome. And the game is being developed by Alchemy Labs, a great company who did Job Simulator. Yeah,
and Jack Lumber.
played that.
I worked with
And
those
Jack
guys.
Lumber. Yeah. And
They-
Smuggle Truck / Snuggle Truck. Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting working with them because we had a platform for independent developers where we would sign on and do the marketing, and the CEO was a very smart guy, but somewhat difficult, and he actually ended up doing a talk about why you should never work with publishers after.
Guess what? We're working. We're on Alchemy. Yeah, Alex is a great guy. I've known him for years, and yeah, we're doing this game with them, and it's absolutely fantastic. So,
You know what's
Go check out the
disappointing
demo.
about that though?
what's that?
Is that how like none of the creators of the show are involved in that. It's all like fake voice actors and stuff like that. It's really a little off-putting.
Well, it's the voice cast from Ed, and Eddie. That's
Well, yeah, just do the Ed, and
of
Eddie game.
course.
I don't know why you're attacking on that. That I know the Rick and
No,
Morty is the big.
It does have Justin Roiland is doing the voices for
I
it.
know.
Didn't you-
I was.
trailer?
Yeah, I was. Well, you know what, CJ?
Gosh.
I was
Phil.
being
What?
being a little silly. I was
Okay.
having a little bit of fun with you. I was giving you a little bit of a ribbon.
Okay.
You know, I would do that from time to time. I may
You
not
are
have
known
been,
to. Yes.
I may have been slightly disingenuous there.
Alrighty.
Just having a laugh. Just having a laugh, buddy. It's all
Alrighty.
good.
That's
It's all good.
alright.
I have faith in your virtual reality experience.
Well, good. Yeah,
that is
it's
coming out.
coming out on the HTC Vive. And
Now, are you directly involved in this one?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You're what voice are you? Are you a bird person?
I'm Mr. Meeseeks.
Oh, okay. Let's hear your Mr. Meeseeks then.
No.
Oh, come on!
Not
Don't
gonna do
tease
that. All
me
right.
with-
Hey, so also, please come to Gear VR. First of all, because if you don't, you miss 50% of the whole VR market. Second of all, I want to play it, and I don't have a Vive.
Okay. Well,
You're here,
I can't say, what we're gonna do, but HTC Vive is where you'll be able to play it at least.
Yeah. Just go to Comic-Con, Ethan.
Yeah, exactly.
Or, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go buy a $2,000 PC rig.
What you should do, Ethan, just fly to Atlanta. I will give you a demo. You'll be able to
There you go.
play it.
Nice.
Done. Easy. All right. Let's see. Let's talk about Nintendo news. You like Nintendo news?
Yeah.
I mean, this is a Nintendo podcast after all.
You love your Nintendo.
I love Nintendo. All right. So Nintendo gave me a little reason to like them even more this holiday season. They are releasing
a little reason. Get it?
a small reason, tiny reason. They are re-releasing the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yes.
Yes, the NES Classic is coming out. It's a mini collector's edition NES, preloaded with
Pocket-sized.
30 NES games. I don't know if it's pocket-sized.
Well, it's handheld.
It fits in the palm
certainly.
in your hand.
It's
It's much
maybe
smaller.
if you have cargo pants with like a really big front pocket, you could fit it.
Yeah.
in. But I don't know about pocket size.
I need a lot of space in my cargo pants. If you know what I mean.
So are the controllers
For what?
wireless or are they wired?
Carry around all my game systems. And I have a Vita pocket and my 3DS pocket and my iPhone
Atari
pocket.
Lynx.
Yes, the
you
original
need two
Atari Lynx.
pockets for that. Actually, this might be the size of an Atari Lynx.
No,
smaller than
the
Atari Lynx.
controllers are wired.
Oh, okay.
Ethan, but they are the ends of them. The plugs are the same plugs that go into the Wii remote, so you can use you can use them as controllers for virtual console games.
That's right.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Yes.
And I am super excited about this. My only regret is that they don't have a way of just sticking an SD card in there and letting you access the virtual console store, because I would love to buy more games for it. I'm
But
happy with the selection they have.
You have a Wii
but-
U.
Yeah.
No, I do, but it's just it would be sure.
Or you
But
have a
I mean,
Wii. As
I
do
wanna-
I. I'm buying it purely because
What
the thing
I'm
looks awesome.
disappointed what I'm disappointed in is that there's no cartridge slot
Well,
Oh yeah,
to let you play the actual physical cartridges.
that would
That's
be
right.
nice.
Now that would be you can't do that on your other two systems you have sitting on your shelf.
So it's going to be $59.99 in the
Yep.
U.S. Comes out November 11th,
Yeah.
and we've got 30 games pre-installed. I'll read some
Yep.
of them. I'll just read all of them.
Yeah, read all of them, yeah.
Balloon Fight, Bubble Bobble, Castlevania, Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, Donkey Kong Jr., Double Dragon 2, The Revenge, Dr. Mario, Excite Bike, Final Fantasy, Galaga, Ghosts and Goblins, Gradius, Ice Climber, Kid Icarus, Kirby's Adventure, Mario Brothers, Mega Man 2, Metroid, Ninja Gaiden, Pac-Man, Punch-Out featuring Mr. Dream, Star Tropics, Super C, Super Mario Brothers 2, Super Mario Brothers 3, Tecmo Bowl, The Legend of Zelda, and Zelda 2, The Adventure of Link.
There
With
you
save
go.
state, by the way.
Yep.
Yes. Save states.
Yep.
That thing is going to sell out. It's going to be hard to get, and
That's going to be the big Christmas item this year.
yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's a really, really smart play.
It
You know,
is.
a lot of other companies have done similar things. There is a Genesis one that's already been out, for instance.
Not made by
but,
Sega, though.
Not made by Sega, right?
This,
And
this is the first time where like the company that made the thing is making a retro
Yeah.
console with things
Exactly.
installed. Kinda
It's
crazy
also-
that way.
it's also about twice as much as most of the other ones we've gone for, but totally worth
I'm
it.
hoping that along with that, the build quality will be better, because I don't know if
Yeah.
you've toyed around with any of the flashback
uh,
consoles or what. The quality could be a little better in those.
Well, the Sega one looks and sounds awful.
They're terrible, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
So I'm
not.
hoping this is better, and I'm also hoping, and I think Kevin, you can speak to this too. So the emulation, obviously, that Nintendo has done on Virtual Console has been a little bit hit and miss with the NES
Right.
specifically. On the Wii U, everything is very dark
Mhm.
on NES
Yeah, I think
games.
I think that is going to be the big concern for us, for our audience, the more hardcore gamer, where a lot of the people that are potentially going to pick this up may not notice a lot of those small emulation issues that you might see on in a weaker piece of hardware. But Nintendo has been very, very quiet. I know Polygon did an interview with Nintendo PR, excuse me, and they basically said we're not talking about what the hardware is. We're not talking about resolutions. We're not really talking about exactly what's going on. We're just kind of showing off what the box is in terms of the size. We're showing you the price. We're showing you the games, and then we're also showing you the optional extra controller accessory, which is, looking at the prices, $60, and then also $10 for an extra controller is a really great price.
Yeah.
So even if it's not perfect, I think the problem is that, even if it's not perfect, it's still going to be a great value, but there's going to be plenty of people that are going to complain about, potentially having, sound issues. And judging by the lineup of games, we have a couple clues here, because games like Castlevania 3 are not on there. Games that are known to be a little bit more difficult to emulate based on the graphical trickery that is going on in the game and the ways that they kind of try to really push the system later on in life. A lot of the games that we're seeing in here are really earlier games, but they're also still graphically impressive games. Like Kirby's Adventure is a very graphically impressive game. So I don't know necessarily what to think because, again, like I said, we don't really know exactly what is powering this hardware at this point, but there's no reason to be pessimistic at this time because at the end of the day, I think it's really cool to be able to get a small box that you can bring over to a family member's house, a friend's house, and within 2 minutes hook it up through HDMI and start playing a bunch of these old games that you loved growing up. So I'm really excited about it, and I think Ethan is 100% correct. I think if Nintendo really undershoots what they believe this is going to sell, it's going to be incredibly hard to get this thing, and you're going to see them on eBay for over $100.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, for sure.
Which
Definitely.
is a shame, right?
Are
Because
they
why-
taking pre-orders yet, by the way, or not?
Not yet, no.
No.
Okay. And by the way, think about the fact that this sets them up also to do a very similar thing for a Super Nintendo and a Nintendo 64.
Exactly.
The classic branding is a quote classic branding is something that is on their website. Like I'm on the Nintendo website right now, and this is basically set up to have potential for a Super NES Classic Collection, and potentially even it would like kind of make sense to also do a Game Boy Classic convention collection if this really does do gangbusters. It makes sense, but then you also have to deal with the increased power that's going to be required for something like a Super Nintendo. I think that is going to be a much more expensive, more like even maybe a potentially $99 product.
Well, I don't know
Sure.
about that. I mean, the Genesis one is not great quality, but it also comes in at less than $50.
Well, I mean, it's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You have to
There is
keep in mind,
that.
like, I'll be Greg right now. The Sega Genesis is a fantastic platform, but the Super Nintendo emulation is a little bit more difficult. The Sega Genesis sound hardware is harder to emulate, but the Super Nintendo emulation takes much more power from a CPU.
Sure.
We've known that for a long time from emulation back in the early 90s with these consoles, but I think it's going to be a really great thing for Nintendo to do, and really more than anything, it's going to get a lot more Nintendo consoles in people's homes, even if it's an old NES console.
Yeah.
Depending on what the NX is, you're going to be able to get people having Nintendo front of mind, just like Pokemon Go is very much bringing Nintendo to a lot of people's front of minds, and they're remembering how much fun that they had with these old franchises. It could be a real good kick in the butt for NX pre-orders or NX sales when that eventually launches. And again, you get 30 games for $60. It is a fantastic value compared to what they do on the Virtual Console.
Yeah.
What's
and they got a lot
funny-
of third-party titles involved in this too, which is
Yeah,
fantastic.
Mega Man 2 is great. But the thing is I have probably bought nearly all of these titles on Virtual Console before,
Same here.
and many of them I
Yeah.
owned back in the day on the NES,
Same
and
here.
yet I'm more than happy to buy them again.
Me too.
Exactly.
We're suckers.
Exactly.
We're all
And
suckers.
I think it's such an impulse buy for people, and I know people. We're this is the audience, the four of us, the audience that's listening. We're nut jobs. We're gonna buy this whether it's good or not, just to have that box, just to have that console sitting on our desk next to our computer and hooking up through HDMI to our monitor. So whenever we get bored, we can play some Super Mario Brothers 3. We're gonna play some Mega Man 2, and no doubt, I think that if this thing sells well, even if there is an expansion on that thing, there's no reason why they can't just release another NES Classic Edition, Part 2, or even use the redesigned console that they had later in life as the housing, and just have like a bunch of like great later games, or even like CJ, you mentioned they have Konami games on here. They have Tecmo games on here. They have been able to get other companies involved in this and really buy into it. I mean, we got Bubble Bobble on here. This is just a really fantastic, great mix of games for the hardcore gamer, for the casual gamer, and for people that really just grew up with Nintendo and then want to get some more of this stuff.
Actually,
Well, and
the Gradius that's on here is Gradius Pachinko, but it's
That's right.
Well, the thing that's really cool also is, so much of it is about the packaging and the form factor. It just looks so cool, and it makes you wonder if Sony had taken the PlayStation TV and made it look like a tiny PS1 and had enough storage to give you 20 PlayStation 1 games. Would that have been more popular in the market? I think it would have, and I think the challenge is they just don't think the way Nintendo thinks.
Yeah, I think this is really interesting timing for them because they're not really looking to sell Wii U's, right? Through the rest of the year. That's kind of dead, and they know that it's dead, and it's before the NX comes out. And here there was a lot of talk like, oh, Nintendo's not going to have any hardware to sell, and now they do. And we all, the minute I saw this press release and the imagery, I was like, they're going to sell a shit ton of these.
Yes.
Because the price is right, and you're going to get a lot of people buying them as gifts. It's going to be huge. Usually, at Christmas time, I don't know if you've had the same experience. You go into a Toys R Us or you go into a Target and you see a lot of those Sega Genesis or Atari Flashback consoles, and they go pretty quickly. Already, and this is the first time Nintendo's done something like this, and it's gonna sell big.
Oh yeah.
Well, sure. I think the big thing is you're not just getting the guys like us that are very core and, again, will buy these games 4 or 5 times. You're also getting this enormous lapsed gamer audience that grew up on this stuff but hasn't bought a console in 20 years. But this is what they remember, and, it'll get them excited. I do wonder how it will play out for people who are just new to Nintendo games, like younger audience members. Are they going to care, or are these games going to seem too dated?
I think there's 2 things. One, before we get on that, I just want to mention the people brought up questions of the controller. If that controller is a piece of crap, that's a real big deal breaker for a lot of people, especially with 8-bit games that require platforming and very precise controls. That's going to be.
But Nintendo's controllers recently have been very, very good.
I agree.
Same.
I just get scared with the $9.99 price tag, even though we see $9.99 USB NES controllers, not made by Nintendo, absolutely, but it all kind of depends on really how good those controllers are. Does it feel like an NES controller that I have from 30 years ago? Does it feel like that kind of build quality, or does it feel like really cheap plastic where the buttons are really stiff and it doesn't have really precise control? I'm sure they won't do that, but again, let's be optimistic. Sure. But I think to Ethan's point, I think absolutely this is going to be something that people are going to be really interested to go back to, because even not only just the idea of retro gaming, but just these old franchises are continuing to come back to the forefront, whether it be something like NES, was it called NES Remix? And 2 of those games, NES Remix, NES Remix 2, and clearly they sold well enough to make a second one, so there is going to be some kind of audience for that. And I'm sure if anyone remembers, like you said, if maybe you're going to get a gift for a nephew or something like that, or for a cousin, and you remember playing Nintendo with your cousin growing up, and they haven't touched a console, or maybe they even have an Xbox One or a PlayStation 4, you're going to immediately think this is going to be a great gift, because even if they don't play it every day, just their face when they look at that console, when they open it up, and the nostalgia that just kind of goes through their veins when they see that. And hats off to Nintendo. That the box itself just looks fantastic. The way that they're selling this, the sales page on the Nintendo website, where they just have the 8-bit characters flying around from Balloon Fight, and they're showing your favorite pixel art from these games. I have no doubt that people are just going to light up, even if it's just a thing they use for a couple of days after Christmas, and that's it. It's going to be worth that $60 for sure.
It's great, and it's in addition to Pokemon Go, it's bringing the Nintendo brand back into the mind. and that would have been a huge hurdle with the NX, and they're already starting it up, which is great to see.
It's making people really have happy thoughts about Nintendo before they release a new console. Like it's almost, it's that saying that, whenever Nintendo's in a corner, that's when they're at their best. When they are, swinging and missing a couple times, they get ready and they just hit a home run. They get out a couple times, they hit a home run that next at bat. And I think this is Nintendo really thinking, all right, how are we going to really make sure that we have an audience for ourselves in the future, and how do we grab that audience back from the past to remind them that, yeah, maybe you're going to want to pick up an NX and a copy of Zelda because you remember how great that original adventure with Zelda was on the NES, and then maybe how okay the Adventure Link was.
Exactly.
Well, I think also Nintendo is absolutely the best at mining nostalgia. You look at the amiibos, and those are just beautiful collectibles that are so much fun to buy when you're out at the store. Or again, just the way they handled, especially with the original Wii, the Virtual Console, and getting all of the different variants of games. Like a Game Gear version of. Sonic the Hedgehog as well as the Genesis version and stuff like that. I mean, they understand.
That's what's funny. What's funny is that what's coming to the Wii U next week?
What's that?
TurboGrafx games.
That was this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought Bonk.
Okay.
I bought all three of them. Yeah.
Awesome. You remember when Nintendo started having Super Nintendo games on the new 3DS? Remember those 4 weeks where they gave a crap about the Virtual Console again? So we got 1 week where the Virtual Console guy got knocked around a little bit, and he woke up from his nap. So we got some TurboGrafx stuff. But this is way better because we get it all at once, and it's not like a tease where people are going to be wondering where the rest of their TurboGrafx games are when Nintendo forgets about it again for a couple months.
Sure.
I think this is just a much better thing that you get everything at once, and for people that are a little bit negative like me on Nintendo's Virtual Console offerings as of late, it is just a value that's just ridiculous. It's just so great that they're able to do this at $60 if it works well.
I agree. I'm buying it anyway. I'm pre-ordering it anyway, sight unseen. I don't care about the emulation issues.
I'm pre-ordering 4. I'm going to get a bunch of them. Are you kidding? Like, these are going to be great gifts for people, and I just, again, would like to just have one on my desk hooked up to my Dell monitor so I can just switch the HDMI input and play. Like, how rad is that going to be, guys?
Nintendo better make a ton of them because they are going to sell like crazy.
They're so bad
when that sales happen, you have to wonder, like, will NEC decide to do a similar thing with the TurboGrafx Mini, or would Sega work with a partner to bring out another better quality version of the Genesis? I mean, it does seem like other partners would want to do that.
And that would be good if this raises the bar for those micro consoles. That'd be fantastic.
Yes, it would.
All right, let's touch on this Nintendo 64DD garage sale thing that happened in the Seattle area. So, Kevin, do you know anything about this?
No, I just kind of I know we got some people that were hitting us out on Twitter. Streetball44 was hitting us up on Twitter to talk a little bit about that, and just specifically about if you guys had any thoughts or comments on this. But the only thing that I really had is maybe I was a little bit surprised at how surprised other people were that this thing existed, because as a devoted Nintendo Power subscriber, I saw quite a bit of coverage in there, and they clearly thought that 64DD was going to be eventually making it over to the States. But
So
I mean, I'm not surprised that there was a couple consoles in NOA, and sometimes, like we had here in the States with Atari a couple years ago, sometimes those people that worked at those companies that then eventually left, as you guys may have from EGM or your various magazines, you brought some toys home, and then you decided to have a yard sale, and you didn't realize what you kind of had, and that's clearly what happened here again.
Yeah, I mean, being in the press in the late '90s when the 64DD was coming out in Japan, I think we were expecting it to eventually come out in the U.S. and
Yeah.
it didn't. So it's not shocking to me that it existed for sure. That it landed in somebody's house and got picked up at a garage sale, I guess. Maybe was that what the story is? Um, not entirely surprising.
Yeah.
So in Japan, if I remember correctly, the initial release of Ocarina of Time was only on 64DD, wasn't it?
No.
No.
Okay, was it on?
They did a special version of Ocarina of Time. That was the later released in the U.S. as the Master Quest. Right.
Yeah.
That was
Okay.
on 64DD.
Okay,
Yeah.
and I remember they had some game about a giant, but
Yeah, Doshin the Giant.
Doshin the Giant.
Right, but there weren't that many DD games that came out in Japan, were there?
That's
there were
correct.
there was what the F-Zero.
There's an F-Zero track editor. Yeah.
There was what 4 different Mario artist games,
Yes.
maybe. Is that right?
Yeah, Doshin the Giant. I'm not sure what else. I'm sure you could find that online. There was supposed to be a SimCity game on the 64.
Oh, right.
Too, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Nintendo also back in the day at E3 would show off things that never ended up coming out in the U.S.
Oh yeah.
That was a fairly standard thing. So
Mhm.
Wow, this is the complete lineup of Nintendo 64 games: Mario Artist / Mario Paint, Doshin the Giant, Radnet Disc, which I don't know if that was an online disc, Mario Artist Talent Studio, Super Mario, SimCity 64, F-Zero X Expansion Kit, Japan Pro Golf Tour 64, Doshin the Giant expansion, Tinkering Toddler Liberation Front Assemble, that's the title of that game, Mario Artist Communication Kit, and also Mario Artist Polygon Studio.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That
What a
that
lineup.
is a killer game catalog. That's incredible
Oh, yeah.
stuff.
That's like a 3DO like launch lineup.
Closer to a Jaguar one, I'd say.
I have, for some reason, talking about taking home stuff from magazines when they're closing. For some reason, I have a copy of, I believe it's Mario Artist Paint Studio. I don't know why.
oh,
I
do
have
you?
it.
A 64DD disc?
No, I have the PlayStation 2 version.
Oh.
But it was
yes,
really nice.
I have
that,
I have a 64 DD disc.
It was really nice that when Game Now closed, we were able to take all of the games that were part of our library and
Oh no, those were given to a different magazine, and they got to take them home when their magazine closed. So
Oh God.
yeah.
All right. Should we get
Thanks,
on to
Ziff Davis.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ziff Davis.
Yes. So, hey, how's it going?
What?
Let's talk about what we've been playing. I've been playing some video games this week.
yeah.
Very
we
proud to
know.
say.
Headlander's
So-
great. We know.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I've been playing Arcade Archives, Gradius 2.
Nice.
You like
It's
that?
pronounced
You like that?
Arcade Archives Gradius. Gradius. Archives Gradius.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
I've been playing that as well.
I like it. Of course, I knew I was going to like it because
Well, it's-
I like the Gradius series.
Gradius.
So.
It's Gradius.
course.
It's Gradius
Yeah.
2. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. The
I,
seldom
have
seen in the U.S. Gradius 2.
I have all but one achievement in the game.
The Arcade Archive games are very easy to get achievements in.
They're very light on achievements. It's like post
Yeah.
a score to the leaderboard. That's like 3
Exactly.
achievements in this game.
Well, the early ones were even easier. The early games, the early Arcade Archives was like, go into the settings and change a setting. Read the instruction manual. And these are not exaggerations. No.
By the way, my favorite achievement of all time still was in Dead or Alive 4, where if you were beaten 15 times in a row in online matches, it unlocked an achievement for 0 points.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the best. Yeah, I think Itagaki did a bunch of those. They were quite embarrassing. But yeah,
Here we
Gradius,
go. Let me read you.
Read
Let me
read
read.
us the achievement list.
This is the trophy guide for Arcade Archives Mr. Goemon, the
Mhm.
very first Goemon game from Konami. Option menu opened. You get a trophy for that.
Okay.
Display settings opened.
Is that the platinum?
No.
Okay.
But you get a trophy for opening the options menu.
Uh-huh.
You get a trophy for looking at the display options. You get a trophy for looking at the game settings. You get a trophy for looking at the button settings. You get a trophy for reading the manual or flipping through all the pages of the manual. You get a trophy for opening the online rankings, not even posting,
even
but
posting
just
a score, just opening them.
looking at the online rankings.
Okay.
You get a you get a trophy for resetting the game. You get a trophy for posting your score to the online, and the high score for getting a high score.
That's amazing.
So other than the 2 high score related ones, all of the other ones are just you can take care of by flipping through the options screen.
That's pretty great.
Yeah. So there you go. So that's
Yeah.
it.
So when I loaded up Gradius 2, I was quite rusty at the game.
Yeah.
it-
Well,
it-
the
it,
greatest, they're tough games.
And there's definitely like there's a pattern to Gradius games and strategy, and you want to be in the right place at the right time to get those sweet power-ups.
Mhm.
And it eventually it clicked back, and now I'm back to my old shooter prowess, I guess you could say.
Nice.
Yeah. That's a super fun game. The Gradius series is one of my favorites.
I love Gradius.
Incredible
And it
soundtrack.
ages so well too. Like the
Mhm.
gameplay is so super tight, and it's
So
it's
tight.
so tight.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Philip.
Very, very much.
I've also been playing Dragon Quest Heroes, the World Trees Low and the Blight Below. Because
All will be Musu.
it was available on Amazon on Prime Day. As a part of that celebration, they had it on a digital deal for like $17.
Yeah.
So I bought it
There you go.
and I started playing it. You played a little of this, Phil.
I have. I need to get back into it, but it's.
I have more achievements than you do on it already.
Yeah. Well, that's because you probably played more than I
I
did.
probably have. I'm
Yeah.
I'm curious. So the levels in the game are actually pretty short. I was kind of
Yeah.
surprised after playing, Hyrule Warriors.
Hyrule?
I was expecting to spend, like 15 minutes to a half an hour, like running around a map, and I didn't have to do any of that in this. And
Yeah.
while it gives you you have a party of 4 players, they pretty much just follow you. You can't, as far as I can tell, you can't like tell them to do certain things. Maybe you can, but you get monster tokens, and you can tell monsters to stay in one place and continue to attack. But
Yeah.
you have a party of 4 players, and you can't do that with them. So a little bit weird. And yeah, each of the stages is like less than 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and you don't have to run around a whole lot, which I found interesting. I like it though. I like it a lot. Hyrule Warriors. I love that game. I like this game. I guess that means I should try a Dynasty Warriors game at some point.
Yeah.
It's good.
Go-
So
you
the
know
Dynasty
what?
Warriors games though aren't like this where they're very short missions. They're more like Hyrule Warriors. right?
More like Hyrule Warriors. Yes, for sure.
Okay.
Definitely. Grab Samurai Warriors 4. You can probably get it for pretty cheap.
Okay.
If you're going to try one out, Samurai Warriors 4 is a good starting
good-
point.
Okay. What's this year's flavor of Dynasty Warriors? What's this year's Musu?
We got Dragon Quest Heroes 2, which, by the way, the Vita version was updated, so the load times are a tick under 45 seconds now, but I've actually continued to play through that game. That game is really great.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah,
actually a ton
I would imagine.
of fun.
Well, and if you have the new 3DS, the Hyrule Warriors version for that has a lot of new content, and
true.
I've really enjoyed that too. Provided you turn the 3D off, it runs really well on the new device.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah,
There's
I'm loving
always
Dragon Quest
One
Heroes.
Piece. There's always One Piece.
One Piece is really good too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you played the One Piece ones too, huh?
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
See,
Am I a Musu fan now?
It's time to
What?
admit it, CJ.
No.
It's okay. It's okay. It's
Oh,
okay.
God.
You can't fucking like Musu. It's okay.
They're so good. Dragon Quest Heroes is good.
I'm telling you, man.
Yeah. Maybe
Samurai-
you had something there.
Maybe I did. Samurai Warriors 4. You can, like I said, it's been on sale pretty regularly, so you could probably get it.
All right. Next time it's on sale, I'll grab it.
There you go.
Oh, and just real quick, speaking of sales, if you are watching this, there's 2 days left on some pretty amazing games with gold for Xbox on sale. There's the Need for Speed games and Divinity, which I just picked up for $15.
Very nice.
Okay.
All right. Well, Ethan, do you want to continue on with what you've been playing then?
Sure. Yeah, I ended up going to GameStop and was pleasantly surprised to find that Song of the Deep had come out from Insomniac Games.
Yes.
And I really like that model where you can get a physical copy of the game. So it's available digitally for $14.99, but it's the same price to go and get the disc from the store. And so pick that up, and it's just this really charming game that feels like kind of Metroid in a submarine. There's echoes of Transistor or Bastion in terms of the way the narration works. It's a really interesting story of a girl trying to find her father under the depths, and I'm really enjoying the artistry and craftsmanship. And I just wish there were more games like this, like Inside, that come out at sub $20 prices. That just are adding to the rich catalog of indie games, because it's like I think we're finally seeing AAA indie, and games like this and games like Inside really do add to that. I also got
There's another one coming out on July 26th. It's called Headlander.
Oh yeah, no, totally, and that would fall into that as well. But I think we're seeing more of those finally, and I really am happy about that.
Is this game you're in a submarine?
Yes.
So he's like Scoon.
Yes, you could say that.
He's like Scoon.
It's exactly Scoon. Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So, and I was going to say also if you're an EA subscriber on Xbox, they just put Unravel on there for free as well, which is great.
That is a good game. That is a great game.
Wait, that's free on what?
EA Access.
Oh, bummer.
EA Access.
Yeah.
Which is actually a pretty good deal.
That's a very good deal, even if you don't like sports.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So, really enjoyed that and would recommend it. The other thing, did you guys realize that Red Dead Redemption and Super Mario Galaxy 2 came out in the same week?
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. So, and I jotted the dates down. Give me a second here. The Red Dead Redemption came out on May 18th of 2010, and Galaxy 2 came out May 23rd.
Huh.
And so I had remembered that. So when I downloaded Red Dead Redemption, I just had this real urge to go back and play Mario Galaxy 2 as well. And so actually a lot of my time this week has been going back and forth between the two of them. And both of them hold up really well. Mario Galaxy 2 in particular is just it is a masterpiece. I mean, I have so much fun playing that game, and also I don't remember as much of it as I would have thought I would. So it feels like a new experience, and I'm having a great time. But I would say that date may be kind of the high point or the absolute pinnacle for traditional box single-player games. I don't know if we'll ever get a week that good again for that category of games, and I don't think we've had one before or since that can even come close. But I mean, getting both of those in 1 week is unbelievable.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So that's
Call of Duty's coming out this year.
Oh wait, Call of Duty will probably be out the same week as the NES Classic. So
wow.
that
There
will
you go.
now eclipse that that as the best week in gaming.
Because that's 30 great games in one package.
Yeah, yeah.
If only we can get Mighty Final Fight on that damn console
Oh,
too.
yeah.
So, and I'll just wrap up by saying I've been playing 3 different Batman mobile games. I'll stay very brief on this, but I've been playing.
I don't think you have been playing 3 different Batman games.
No.
No.
Okay.
What
Well,
are they?
Games with characters from the Batman universe. How is that?
Oh, okay. Well, now we're adding asterisks onto it.
Yes. So it's been Teeny Titans, which I just think is incredible, and I would
Not a
give that
Batman
an
game.
A. And
Not a Batman game.
I think that game is worth $40. I mean, I really do. I think that it's it's crisper and better looking than 3DS games, and just as fun as some of the best titles on that platform.
It's so good. Yeah.
And you can
It's a
get it
good
for
game.
$4, which is amazing. Yeah. So definitely worth checking out. The second one would be Suicide Squad, which I would give a C to. But what's interesting about it is it's a first-person wave-based shooter where you get to play as 3 different characters, and it is totally free. It is just a piece designed to advertise the game. So they have a link to the YouTube clip of the trailer, but beyond that, there's absolutely zero monetization in the game. It's really interesting that it's designed that way. And then the third one is the one that was featured by Apple this week, which was Batman Arkham City Underworld, which I'd give a D to because it's just a whole lot of waiting. So, but it's interesting that you have those 3 games to compare against one another, and if you're going to do anything, with the Batman characters on mobile, Teeny Titans is definitely the first place to go.
Definitely. All right,
Yeah.
Kevin.
Hey, guys.
What video games have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing some bangers. Hey,
Have-
there's this. You guys
Actually, I have a
like?
question for you because we talked about Tokyo Mirage Sessions #FE
That's right.
a couple weeks ago. Have you played that yet?
No, that's one of the regrets. As you guys know, I maybe you don't know. I got rid of my Wii U a couple months ago. Yeah, so unfortunately, I do not have a Wii U to play that game, but everything that I've seen from it has been really fantastic. Wii U owners have gotten a fantastic game towards the end of the life of that console, and hopefully it can hold some people off until Zelda comes next year or something like that. But yeah, it's a shame that is going to be locked on the Wii U. But hopefully that NX is backwards compatible and we can download that off an eShop or something like that, and then I can play that if I do get an NX down the road. But speaking of games that would have fit in with that generation, I've been playing a couple other games on the Xbox One backwards compatibility list, primarily Shadow Complex, because there's obviously you log into your Xbox Live account, and I got an Xbox One a couple weeks ago, and got to download a bunch of old games that I previously purchased, and it's really great to be able to just go back and download Shadow Complex or download. I had a copy of Red Dead Redemption, and that unlocked a couple days ago. So I've been going back and playing through those, and it's just been. I've been incredibly busy, so Shadow Complex has been great to just fire on for 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and blast through that game. And it has been really a lot of fun to see how well that game holds up and to see how much. I mean, I can't remember when that came out. It was maybe 2008 or so when that game came out, and I. For Mario Galaxy 2 for Ethan, I completely forgot so much about that game, and it is just it's a classic, and it's a shame that we haven't been able to get a sequel since then. But of course, that company went on to work on mobile games, and Epic probably is not going to give them the cash to go and make a Shadow Complex 2. But you never know. Microsoft is still in that catch-up. So
well, they did do a remaster of that
correct.
fairly recently. I think it came out for PS4 also.
That's right. Oh, that's right. That is going to be coming out on PS4 too. So that is a game that you should go pick up, and I still think it's obviously worth the asking price if you get on Xbox Live Marketplace or wait for the remastered version. But it still plays great. So you can go pick it up either way. Also, I know you guys talked a little bit about Red Dead Redemption last week. So I just want to say that this is a great selling point for that Xbox One is the backwards compatibility. If they continue to do stuff like you were talking about and Digital Foundry did as well, if they can continue to bring new life to these old games by making them run a little bit better, look a little bit better, and then also have them available on current generation hardware, that is just a really great thing to see in terms of not just preservation, but making sure that these games and these franchises continue to get brought back up. And I didn't love that game, but the beginning is so damn good that I got sucked into it the last couple nights, and even before I had to go on my business trip, I was really just sucked in and finding myself again up at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, which that's really late for me. Playing through that game and just kind of like roaming around and just enjoying the characters, the music, the atmosphere of that game that is really unmatched with a lot of what Rockstar's has done. Although I haven't played Bully. Have you guys played Bully?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've played that game a little bit.
What game is it?
Never mind. So yeah, that's been really good. Again, part of the reason why I got Xbox One again, I apologize. I know some people are mad that I sell my consoles and then buy them again later, but it's okay, guys. Like I'm all right. Don't worry, it's cool. Exactly. I picked up Doom, which I went all the way through. Dude, that might be my favorite game of the generation. Is Doom so far? I haven't had that much fun, and it's very hard for me to get completely grabbed by current generation games to the point where I find myself spending like a whole Saturday, like 6 or 7 hours in the Saturday playing through that game. And also I got to catch up a little bit on I played through Half-Life Halo 5, which I heard lots of negative things about, and I think that really helped as I played through it because I loved it. I had a blast going back into that universe. There's some issues with the Warden, who is the mini-boss that you face a bunch of times. He's just kind of like a pain in the ass to fight. He's not really fun. He's just a pain in the ass. But it's so cool when you can just see a developer get an unlimited, blank check to make a game, what they can make in terms of story and well, not really story, but music, assets and gameplay. It's still really good. So yeah, I've been getting a lot of Xbox One usage, and if I can just mention quickly, I wanted to give a shout out to John Linnerman, I believe is his name, from Digital Foundry, who's been doing a bunch of retro, what is it called, retro, Digital Foundry comparisons, looking at old versions of games and looking at the versions for Quake, looking at the Sega Saturn version, the PlayStation version, and the PC version, how they ported those games and how those companies got around the hardware limitations, and also he did Half-Life, Duke Nukem, including Duke Nukem 64. So that has been a great series to check out, which I recommend people go take a look at. So guys, I've been playing some games.
Hey, actually,
Awesome.
the first time I ever played Duke Nukem was on Sega Saturn.
It was a pretty good version.
It's not bad, yeah.
It was not
I had
bad.
60. You know what? You want to hear a terrible, terrible thing? Is that when I had my N64, of course, I was about 11 in 1997 when Duke Nukem 64 would come out, and I traded in my copy of Super Mario 64, and I think I gave my dad like $20, and I sent him to FuncoLand after work, not with me, and then he first had to give me a call on his cell phone to ask me, and my dad was cool, he had a cell phone back then, he had to ask me if it was okay that I get this M-rated game, and then B, I did not have enough trade-in credit plus cash, so I was crying on the phone because I was so sure that Super Mario 64 would get enough, I'm not kidding, that I would have enough money with Super Mario 64 and a 20 to get Duke Nukem 64, and my dad bought me a copy of Duke Nukem 64, drove it back to my mom's house. My parents were divorced, and then I got to stay up late playing Duke Nukem 64, and as a 11-year-old, say shake it, baby, and it worked.
I can remember there was actually a pretty big rush for the South Park first-person shooter on N64, which
So bad.
in December of the year it was released, like as a last-minute Christmas thing, and I got it for my sister because she loves South Park, and man, that game was terrible. But
well, Duke Nukem 64, by the way, that was a great game for me because of the multiplayer with bots. So you could play by yourself with 3 other bots and just have a blast, even though the AI was terrible. As someone that wasn't always able to get 3 friends over to play multiplayer games, and sometimes you just want the whole screen by yourself, that was just an incredible feat. Nintendo Power totally underscored Duke Nukem 64. I'm serious. Like that was a great port of that game.
Third-party games on N64 were not great.
For the most part.
For the most part. I can't speak to Duke Nukem, but yeah.
Turok was pretty good.
Turok. Oh my God.
This game has more fog than the movie The Fog.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we actually put a ton of time, my friends and I, into Mortal Kombat 4 on the N64.
Yeah, it's like a 60 frames per second version of MK4. Like that.
Yeah.
I remember that running pretty good too.
All right. Phil,
What?
you want to talk?
What do you want
talk
from
about
me?
Games. Games.
Played Radius.
Yeah.
Played some Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
I'm the only one around playing that game, apparently.
I'm level 4. I'm
not
level 4.
very popular. I'm level 9.
Yeah.
So Phil, I do have a question for you about that.
Yes.
So when I went into the city this past week, it became a lot more fun to play because there were a lot more Pokestops than there is in Half Moon Bay. Where you're out, are there a lot of Pokestops that are easy access to?
Tons.
How many while you're
that's
driving?
nice.
Huh?
Don't play Pokemon and drive.
No, that's dangerous. No,
That
there's
is
a
dangerous. Don't.
ton of Pokestops around me and a ton of people playing. We live walking distance from a park, and you can go past that park at just about any time of the day or night, and you will see a dozen plus people just hanging out, chatting with their phones out, catching Pokemon. I can swing the little map around. I can be sitting in my house and swing the map around and look at the park, and usually there are a couple lures going off at any given time there as well. So
I have to say also the game, like playing very casually, I haven't felt any pressure to pay either. It's easy to get Pokeballs and stuff. Yeah.
But
Yes,
they're
it
still
is.
top grossing.
Yeah.
Yep.
People
And
really
now,
want to catch them
so
up.
I guess it just came out in Canada today. So, Greg, if you're listening, get on that.
Got to start leveling up.
Why do you
Be
think he's not
mystic.
here?
Exactly. He's probably
Yeah.
playing Pokemon Go.
That's true. I was playing some more Lego Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens. I finished the main story mode. So now I have all the little extra side missions to go through and beat.
About how long was it to finish the story mode?
10 hours maybe?
Okay.
Maybe
that's
a little
good.
less.
Yeah.
Maybe a little less. But that is the main story. There's still about half a dozen extra Gaiden side story levels.
Is it the 9.0 that IGN said it was?
They gave it a 9.0.
Yeah.
No, I mean I really like it, but it's no.
Okay.
No, it's a good Lego game though. Is it a good game or is it a good Lego game? I guess that's the real question. It's a good Lego game. Oh jeez.
Jeez.
Jeez, this guy over here. Hey, you know what else I played a bit of this week is I booted up Nintendo Badge Arcade again.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, talking about spend caps
Hmm.
because they had Mega Man badges this week.
So how much did you drop in there?
About $57. But
What?
Are you serious?
But I got the badges that I was looking for, so that's exciting.
You're
No,
not. You're not. Tell
You
me.
didn't spend $50.
It was like $5 or $6.
Okay.
I tossed about $5 or $6 in, and got a bunch of Mega Man badges, so I'm pleased. So now I have little Mega Man stickers all over my home page, and my folder on my 3DS that has all my Mega Man games in it can finally have a little icon slapped to the front instead of just that big ugly M. Now I have a
Perfect.
little running Mega Man, so it's all worth it in the end.
Have
That's
they
right.
updated the writing in that game at all? I mean, I know people thought it was kind of weird when I brought that up as like the reason why I really loved Badge Arcade. Like I didn't really care about the badges, but I really thought the writing was it was funny,
Yeah.
it was creative, and it was just really charming. Do they update the scripts or the writing for when new stuff does come out, like the Mega Man stuff?
Yeah, oh yeah, they'll I mean it's all obviously ad kind of driven, so
Yeah.
here's a little speech about Mega Man, or here's a little speech about it did a big thing with Monster Hunter this
Oh, that's
past
cool though.
week as
That's,
well.
oh god,
So
I gotta open that back up and play.
yeah, so there's a bunch of cute little it's still just as adorable and charming as it's
Love
been. So
Okay.
yeah.
Some of the best work Treehouse has done. Seriously,
Yeah.
like
Totally.
if they do stuff like, hey, do you remember like the best boss order in Mega Man 2? Like when they do stuff like that, it's just like,
Oh yeah.
oh god, you guys know what's up.
Yeah. No, it's cute. It's a cute little money sink.
Good to know. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep, of course. And the last game I picked up, being in an arcade shooter mood, thanks to Gradius 2, I picked up a game on the PS4 Flash sale that I've been
Yes.
interested in since its release, but didn't want to spend the $50 or $60. I picked up Darius Burst,
Oh yeah.
Chronicle Saviors.
How is this game?
So
Because I am
good.
also
It's
very
awesome.
curious.
It's
Yeah?
awesome.
How much
It's
was it?
really. It's
$25.
$25.
Yeah.
Well
it's half
worth
off.
it. Well worth it.
Okay.
It is awesome. And Kevin, you played this one? Wait, Kevin's gone.
He's going to get his physical copy for the Vita.
Oh,
probably,
there
to
we
show it
go.
on camera.
Wait, what?
What do you have here, Kevin?
No, I'm just
Show us the physical Vita copy. Come on.
I'm just looking through I have my box of Vita games and
Yeah, you
There
go.
it is.
copy
There
of
it is.
Darius.
Is
Bur-
that a domestic release or is that Japanese?
Oh, that's the Nihongo ga. That's Japanese, man. So, and it is absolutely fantastic. It's so good, and you got to
Yeah.
play it in ultra widescreen.
Yes.
On your TV, so it's like this.
Oh,
thick.
gee.
What?
They have the arc. They have the arc.
Like it has like the 4 monitor setup on
Yeah,
the
so-
Vita, so you basically get like a third of the Vita screen is actually being
Yeah.
used, and then you have black bars in the top and bottom.
Yeah. Do you remember that, CJ? The arcade version of Darius. They would have was it 3 or 4 monitors lined up next to each other?
It's 3, right?
I think so,
I'm
but
pretty sure it's 3.
Huh.
yeah.
So
So,
it
they
em-
it would have
emulates
like
that.
it would have the super wide screen, and there's a arcade
crazy.
mode where the screen is just super letterbox, so you just have this big long strip in the middle emulating that multi-monitor setup, and it is great. And then they also have like a console mode where you get the full screen and everything, but
Sure.
it's
I'm tempted.
yeah, it's
Very
a lot of
tempted.
fun.
Very
I mean, for $25, well worth it.
Okay.
Whoa, it's only $25. Is it still on sale?
Yeah. it's
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's on sale for another day or so.
Oh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
double dip on that just so I can have it on my memory card too.
Well, with I think the Vita version's $20.
Yeah, the Vita version's cheaper.
Oh,
Yeah,
even
yeah.
be-
I'm talking PS4 version. I picked it up for PS4.
Oh, how? Oh, sorry. How does it look on your like a million-inch screen TV?
I do not have a million-inch screen TV. I don't. I have my old 19-inch CRT still.
Oh, you are rocking a Commodore monitor?
Well, you know, it's not broken yet, so I don't see a reason to buy a new one.
I have my my Commodore monitor right next to obviously my
Nice.
4K monitor, and I have my Xbox One on top of that because I've been playing some Xbox One at the desk, and I've been trying to think if I can like down convert an HDMI signal to composite so I can hook up my Xbox One to my Commodore monitor because it's just the perfect width that it sits right on top of it.
Oh, so
I
hey,
don't know if
Kevin,
ahead,
quick
sorry.
question, quick 4K question. After hearing you talk about your set, I went to Best Buy with my daughter, and we started looking at 4K TVs, and you can see in store an enormous difference in terms of resolution. But with the actual content that's out there, can you feel that or not?
I don't really think so, but you know, you got to keep in mind, you know, places like Best Buy, and you know, it's not across the board, but you know, this is definitely how it was when I worked there in college. We would just push out a shittier signal to the cheaper TVs to make them look worse. So I don't know if they're still doing that, but if they're showing true 4K content on 4K TVs, it is really impressive. And now even Amazon streaming, their Amazon Prime streaming, is all the Amazon produced shows and published shows, I guess, are all in 4K, and they're bringing a lot of movies now and television shows and offering those 4K versions. So the content's catching up, and it's not that necessarily that the TVs themselves, like, or I should say, like the 4K content looks a lot better. It has a wide color gamut for its use, but those are just like the 4K TVs just simply have the better panels now, which is really doesn't matter if it's 4K or a 4K signal or a 1080p signal. But I should mention that there are some TVs that actually upscale 1080p to 4K better than others. So I forget what website that I use, but there's a really good website for reviewing all that stuff. But yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily like worth it to get a 4K TV just yet, but if you are going to buy a TV, you might as well just buy a 4K TV just because the panels are better if it fits in your budget.
Okay, good to know.
And Dell has a really good 4K monitor. Like the 4K monitor I have from Dell is just beautiful, and an Xbox One looks incredible on it.
And I'm sure the Scorpio, otherwise known as the Serpico, will look
Yeah.
Serpico.
better still.
Probably, but let's not go into too much hyperbole about that.
Yeah, so thanks for correcting me. It only took 30 years for me to figure out, you know, I was saying that word incorrectly because at the age of 1, that was my first word, hyperbole.
It's all good.
Aw.
I think we all have things like that.
At least I don't say like Super NES. Like who are those people?
Ooh.
Don't
I used to
say
call it the
Super NES.
sneeze. The sneeze.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
The SNES.
The SNES.
SNES, yeah, of
or
course.
Super NES.
Super NES.
Yeah.
Super NES.
Or SNES.
Yeah, that's okay too.
Yeah.
SNES.
That's what I called it, SNES.
okay. Okay.
I would accept that. Yeah.
All right. So Darius Burst, good.
Awesome. Awesome.
And
Well
it's
worth
so
the
playable.
$25.
Like for us, like you don't have to be crazy good at shooters to play.
Yeah,
it.
it's
You
not.
just
It's
pick it
not
up.
like it's not a bullet hell.
That's good. That's what I
Which
like
is
to hear.
I gotta go buy that right now.
Yeah, it's well worth picking up. Faux show.
All right. Should we do some tweets?
Sure.
Let's do some. All right. Hacker Elias Thorbon 3 says, should Nintendo do an NES Mini on a Wii U disc so that people have something Wii U related to buy this fall? I just want the games.
Well,
No, they probably should.
No.
No. The
The
Wii
whole
U's
point
dead.
is.
Wii U's dead anyway.
The whole,
Right?
yeah, I mean,
More or
they
less.
want to. Yeah. No,
They
that
want
would
to
be
sell
si-
things. They should do they should do what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yup.
Yeah, all right. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias Carl J. Ward, who says, should season passes include all DLC rather than 6 to 8 months worth? Then more DLC gets released, which is not included.
Sure.
I think that's an interesting idea. I think that the reason that there's usually a time limit on it is just because that's what the publisher has likely contracted the developers to do, and
Yeah.
they've
Yeah.
worked it out budgetarily. Like we can justify spending this much budget if we sell X number of season passes and say that that's 6 months worth of content. I don't think there's anything necessarily precluding them from doing additional content, but that's generally how I think most people go about setting that up. What do you think?
Well, I think that what's key for me when I'm thinking about buying season passes is, first of all, I really do want to know what exactly they're selling me, and that allows me to better understand if there's going to be the same density of content per dollar that you're getting in the full box product. So, for instance, I was a little bummed when I bought the content for the Arkham Knight game, because it was an extra $40, and it didn't give me $40 of value relative to what I got for $60.
Sure.
But if you're getting the fair density of content, then if they want to add on top of that later, I'm fine with that.
Sure, definitely. What? Anybody else?
Sure.
I mean, yeah, you pay one price, you get all DLC. Yeah, sure. But I don't think that's how publishers generally schedule out DLC. That's
But you could, like,
what's really
include a
dictating this.
code or something in the Game of the Year edition, which gives you access to all future DLC. But that's just like you don't know if they have that pipeline or that schedule already in place. Like, what if
Sure.
they announce like a huge thing, and then people say, "Well, I thought all this stuff was included," but no, it's actually going to be something outside of the regular, DLC that we're planning to do in the first place. So it's tough to do.
Yep. Well, and then you have like the timetable where you do 6 or 8 months worth of DLC, and then after a year has passed, you can release the Game of the Year edition that includes all that stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the only thing that I object to with additional content is where games like Rainbow Six Siege or Call of Duty Black Ops 3 start introducing hard currency packs. That sucks, but if it's actual content, then it's just keeping the game alive longer for players who really enjoy it, which is great.
Totally. All right, let's do this one from Hacker Alias Rick Caruso III. And he says, with the upcoming release of the Mini NES, how do you think it will affect retro video game collector market?
It won't. It won't. The actual original stuff will still be just as expensive as it is
Agreed.
now.
Yep.
But you think it will get even more expensive? People say, "Wow, I just got a little taste. Got a little bit of a taste of the good stuff, and now."
I think that could be, or let's say Nintendo doesn't make enough of the Mini NES, and people decide they want to go the real deal instead.
Well,
I
Kevin,
don't think that's going to be a problem.
Kevin,
Probably not.
are any of the games in there, Phil? You'd be as good to ask. That are considered rare from a cartridge standpoint? Or are they all fairly common?
I know that, like, if you kind of look at what they had to offer, there are, actually a bunch of the games that would be considered to be. Well, the problem is that so many of these games are going to be over, $10 or $15 by themselves these days. Copies of The Legend of Zelda 2.
But those are common.
No, but they're still expensive.
Sure.
They're common, but the prices on eBay right now are exceeding $20. Even Mega Man 2, like you're talking $20, $25, $30 for a good copy of that. But for the most part, when you look at games like Castlevania 2, those aren't too bad. But Donkey Kong and Donkey Kong Jr. are also going up. Like, people were kind of scratching their heads when these were included, but even though they're really they're not very good ports of the arcade game. People still think Donkey Kong, Donkey Kong Jr. Those are things that they should have. Metroid, Ninja Gaiden, also like, I mean, we're talking, if you want physical versions of this library, like it's going to be easily like $200 if you bought them individually on the eBay market. But you know, you're right. Maybe they could have included some more rare games. But again, NES Classic Collection Part 2 coming in spring 2017.
Yeah, and by the way,
do you
it
think
also,
they'd do it that quickly? Do you think they'd do another release, another hardware release next year?
I don't know.
Is
I
it
think
or in the
Is it fair,
spring
is it fair
versus
calling
the
this a
fall?
hardware release? Really?
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I think it's I
No.
think you could almost compare it to like the NES Remix and NES Remix 2. I mean, those were like 6 months apart or something like that. So
Yeah, but
maybe
if you have a
could-
system that's not expandable and you're going to release another version in 6 months that has 30 more games,
But if it has 30 kick-ass games, like 30, they get Mega Man 3 on there. They get somehow that maybe it's better hardware. They get Castlevania 3 on there. Maybe they get some more RPGs like Dragon Quest, or even if
Tetris.
they got like
put
crazy.
Tetris on there.
Yeah,
does anyone
yeah, good.
does anyone have any idea why Nintendo has never released arcade versions of their games on Virtual Console? Because I would
have.
kill Donkey Kong,
Yeah, on the Wii.
Yeah, they did Donkey Kong.
and it's the arcade one.
Yep.
Interesting. I had no idea. I'm going to buy that tonight if that's the case. I thought there was only the NES one.
No,
Wait,
they
are
actually-
you talking about the NES one that has the
Arcade
Cement
stages?
Factory stage put in?
That might be what you're thinking of.
Let
'Cause
me.
I'm talking about the arcade code. Because in Japan, as I
right,
understand it, they did have the Cement Factory. And
Boom!
we
I
didn't
have it
get
right here. These are the official art. There's a bunch of them actually. There's the arcade version of Ninja Gaiden. There's an arcade version of Ghosts and Goblins. Arcade
Oh,
version
right,
of
but not
1942.
Nintendo's own games, though, right?
Because I would kill to get Donkey Kong and Popeye and
Yeah, looks
Donkey
like you're
Kong
right.
Jr.
Popeye
Yeah.
would be great. That's never coming out because of the license, probably.
Right.
The NES version of that game is actually really good, anyways.
Well, it is,
Sure.
but still, I would love to get the real deal if I could.
Oh god, there's so
Totally.
many great Neo Geo games on the Wii Virtual Console. Holy smokes! Oh, by the way, Garou Mark of the Wolves coming to PlayStation 4 and PlayStation Vita very soon. Announced at
Oh, that's right. Evo.
at Evo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
God.
those Neo Geo games age really, really well. I got into the Humble Bundle deal because those games also run really well on my laptop, and was able to get like 30 of them for like under $10.
Nice. Very
Thank
nice. You know what else is coming out on PS4 very soon, apparently? Dead Rising.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw that.
There was a leaked trophy list for Dead
Yeah.
Rising, so that's probably coming out soon. That's exciting. for
And
me,
one of
anyway.
the Transformers games is coming out as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the War for Cybertron, I believe. So
Cool.
To go back to the question, like I was just kind of like looking up this stuff again. Actually, prices are even worse than what I thought. Oh my god, retro game price. I think if anything, this is going to spur people to start collecting more retro games. To like
You're
think I'm
probably
going to get an NES and get more of the games that aren't available in here. Like Mega Man 2 is going for $35 on eBay
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
a loose copy of Mega Man 2.
That's
so
pretty
I
crazy.
do wonder, Kevin, you were talking about Halo 5, and that game's an interesting example of a title where the campaign probably represents maybe 40 or 50% of the total content in that game.
Sure.
And it's fine, and yeah, I think it's also a very fun campaign. I think it's really good. But as we look at collectors down the line, do you think that there's going to be a difference in the value for titles where a significant amount of the content just doesn't work anymore because it required servers?
Well, it's not just like servers, but I think there's going to be, unless there is some way to eventually host the updates that were required for these games, because so many
right.
games launched broken. Like, I mean,
Evil Within, I remember, was like that.
I mean, it's basically every single game. Like I remember even for, CJ was mentioning for like Doom, like it was a 7 gig patch on day one just to like get it up to date. So
Yeah.
I think the market for the current generation of consoles in terms of retro games, like let's say in 15 or 20 years, is not going to be even close to what we have for current cartridge-based games, or even now what is really starting to get big is Sega Saturn and PlayStation 1 is starting to really kick up in terms of demand and price. So if you're thinking about getting into those, get into them now. But yeah, unfortunately, unless there is some way to host these patches and these companies allow us to download this stuff without some kind of console modification, like a mod chip or software modding, I think there's going to be very little market for people that want to play broken games when there are. Hopefully, these next consoles will either have backwards compatibility or they're going to have, more remakes of the games that really were worth, bringing along to future generations.
But also, the experience itself will never be what it was when the player population on a lot of multiplayer games was larger. I mean, even if they're able to set up a private server, it'll never be the experience that it was.
Well,
Yeah,
CJ,
it's
you
just
got your broadband and connector for your Dreamcast. We could play some Quake 3 right now. Like you could do it, but I was thinking more for just like even single player content. How many single player campaigns or single player games, or even digital download, Xbox Live Arcade, PlayStation Network, independent games that will potentially be unavailable for people unless they were somehow released on Steam or another platform.
You think also about like the download packs and all of that, not just updates, but the significant added content. Which if a game is not successful enough to get a Game of the Year edition, where they just give you all of that stuff, that can be lost as well. With something like Smash Brothers, that's one that I've spent a ton of money on, including amiibos, and I'm happy with that. But I'm happy because of the fact that I know that even though eventually the servers will go offline and I can't play online, I don't tend to play that game online anyway, and it's usually just playing locally, and I can do that forever, for the rest of my life, right? And it'll always feel like a good experience. But yeah, it's a bummer when you're spending more than $60 in a game and you may not be able to play it at all after the generation is done.
Well, that's specifically why, I love the games that are coming out for the current generation, but I have no desire to collect or to keep these games. As soon as I'm done with the game, or I should say, when I'm buying games today, I'm buying them for the most part on sale or from GameFly's used sales, are actually a really good place to get games.
That is great, yeah.
The games just need to work enough so you can install them, and then you can just trade them in to. Like Amazon always has great deals on trade-ins, and I can get most, if not all, my money back, and I don't have to worry about GameFly's terrible, wait periods for getting games when they come out. So I think that is going to be, maybe not for everyone, but at least for me, I literally don't have a physical disc for my Xbox One in my house right now. They're all gone after I beat the game, and then I can continue to download games with gold and discounted games that I buy, which is great.
There you go.
Oh, by the way, Banner Saga 2 for free is pretty amazing.
Definitely. And I think the first one was free on PlayStation not too long ago, too. You can get both of those for free. All right, I think that's it.
Cool.
What do you think? The show.
Okay.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you'd like to ask us a question or perhaps comment on something that you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitter, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find our contact information. You'll find blog entries about Sega CD stuff from Mr. Greg Seward. You'll find Generation 16 episodes. He's working on a new one, but there's like 17 of them to listen to and watch and all that good stuff right now. So check that out. And you will find a message board where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you'd like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting playeronepodcast.com or by going to the iTunes Music Store. While you're at the iTunes Music Store, you can also invest $1.99.
Cheap.
Look at the Player One Podcast iPhone application. It gives you one-touch communication with us via the emails, the Twitters, the what have you. You also have all of our episodes ready to stream right to your listening device. And hey, Android cell phone telephone users, the Player One Podcast iPhone application is available for your listening device as well for that same $1.99.
Also cheap.
You can find that right over there at the Amazon Android Marketplace. We're also on Stitcher Radio. You can like us on Facebook. You can check us out live most weeks, as well as check out archives of our shows on the youtubes.com/P1Podcast. And if you've liked what you heard, and how could you can head over to Player One Podcast's very own Patreon page. That's patreon.com/P1Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. It keeps CJ... you know what? The more money we get, the less he has to pimp his games on our show. That's what it comes down to. Let's be realistic about it, folks. And if you have a couple bucks left over, you can head over to generation-16.com and throw a couple bucks Stewart's way to help support his fantastic Generation 16 web series about the Genesis. CJ.
Yeah.
Thank you ever so much.
Thank you very much, and for allowing me to talk about Headlander coming July 26th to your PlayStation and PlayStation 4 and PC.
Though to be fair,
no
I want to interject. It's a Double Fine game. We would have been talking about it anyway, even if you weren't publishing it. So
10 out of 10.
I'm not sure it would have been made if but yeah, you're right.
There you go.
I'm glad we could help make it a reality.
yeah.
Ethan.
Yep.
Thank you.
You are very welcome.
And super special extraordinary burst Chronicle Savior thanks to our ultra special guest Kevin Laramie.
Oh, guys, it is always great to talk about games. Can I talk about the Summer Dreamcast for 1 second?
Of course, yes, please do.
Because it also features Greg Stewart, who is probably continuing to play Shenmue 2 right now as we get ready to talk about that. But the summer has continued, and the last couple weeks have been very jam-packed, including a really great hour that I got to spend with Ryan Payton, who talked about his memories of the Dreamcast, especially Shenmue 1 and 2, and also the story behind what made Shenmue 3 happen, and his involvement with that, and how development of that game is going today. And the last two episodes have included Greg and I talking about the European and Japanese hardware and exclusive releases. And the very latest episode includes me talking with Tom Charnock, I believe, of the Dreamcast Junkyard, talking about Sega Dreamcast homebrew games, including all the Beats of Rage games, unreleased games like Half-Life and Propeller Arena, and also some more on the European releases, games like Headhunter and others. So more Dreamcast coverage coming up on backofmyplay.com.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a good console, and go listen to the SegaNet episode with CJ and Greg. That was that was a really good episode.
That was a lot of fun to talk about all this stuff.
Yeah.
I miss the Dreamcast. Maybe Sega should do a Dreamcast Mini.
Ooh.
There you go.
Whoa. All right.
Yeah.
But you have to license Windows CE.
That's true. Yeah. So it'll never happen. That's what you're saying.
Tough. And then your Dreamcast would upgrade to Windows 10 in the middle of your game of Quake 3 Arena.
Well, actually, I can speak to that a little bit, because back when I was at Sega, we did a Dreamcast collection.
That's true.
That is
it was
right.
pretty limited, but the biggest challenge for bringing any of those titles back is actually the music. So you have to think about licensing music for Crazy Taxi and Jet Set Radio, and a lot of that stuff. It doesn't quite feel like Crazy Taxi if you don't have the music that was in the arcade game and the original Dreamcast game. But that's very expensive to bring back.
Well, I will let you know. I regularly talk to Hideki Naganuma on Twitter about Jet Set Radio and Jet Set Radio feature soundtracks. Whenever I listen to them on my phone, I make sure I mention him because of how great those are, and he seems to want to bring those games and those soundtracks back. And again, like, I can direct you to his Twitter account, Sega, if you can't find it.
Yep, that's true. Actually, also the Jet Set Radio that came out on Vita and XBLA and PSN, which is now I think backwards compatible with Xbox One, is great. But it's super fun to play it on the Vita.
Agreed.
Yes.
Totally.
Greg's first episode on Back of My Play. Go check it out, episode 13. Or something like that. I can't remember.
Yes.
There you go.
Okay.
Is that it? We done?
That sounds like it.
Let's do this again next week.
Yes.
Maybe.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thanks, Kevin.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.